In three, two, one. What is up, everybody? And welcome back to my YouTube channel. Welcome back to my podcast. It is Zachary Reality. What do I always say? It's Zachary Reality, and welcome back to Zachary Reality. Happy Friday, August 16th. I am so excited to be back on my channel, recapping The Bachelor. I'm also happy to be back in the country. I am so sorry I missed you guys this week with a recap. I was in Croatia, and today on my recap, we are going to be catching up on this week's episode of The Bachelorette. We're going to talk about the Sam M breakup. We're going to talk about the hometowns, like the final four. We're going to talk about Grant being announced as The Bachelor, and also the Golden Bachelorette cast has also been announced. So we'll talk a little bit about that, as well as let me tell you guys about my trip. I went to Croatia. I went to Vienna, Austria. I stopped by in Germany for a bit. So we have a lot to catch up on, and we're going to get right into it. So if you guys are new here, make sure to give this video a big thumbs up and hit subscribe, because we are here and we are queer. Okay. Okay, episode 6 of The Bachelorette, I thought was really good. I watched it this morning. A lot went down because we went into this week with 7 men. So we had Marcus, Jonathan, Jeremy, Grant, Spencer, Devin, and Sam M. I felt like there was like a decent amount of front runners, so it was a little unclear what Jen was going to do. You know, Grant could have got in there, Spencer could have got in there, Jeremy. I felt like it was a shoo-in that Marcus and Devin would be there, and then kind of Jonathan too. So it was really like, who's going to take that 4th spot? And also this week, we had a lot of alumni pop in. So, of course, Daisy, Kelsey A, Charity, as well as Trista, the first Bachelorette ever, and Molly and Jason. So there was just like a lot going on. We saw our first one-on-one date was with Marcus. So this is his second one-on-one date of the season, which is pretty good for him. And they were doing some type of collaboration with Wicked, the movie, which is with the green, the pink, whatever, the yellow brick road. Wicked is like Wizard of Oz. So the movie is coming out soon. Ariana Grande's in it. I definitely want to see it. And I guess it was a cross promotion. So Kelsey and Daisy set them up with like a little yellow brick road moment. And they ended up, walking the yellow brick road. Marcus and Jen were answering, intimate questions, opening up about their family. And Marcus talks a lot about his sister this week. Jen talked about her mom, and they got messages from their loved ones. So Marcus's sister sent in like a video message saying how proud she was of him. And then Jen's mom wrote like a really long letter about how she's, sorry that she never gave Jen the perfect family, because her parents are divorced, but like she loves her so much, like unconditionally. And that is all that matters. Okay, we have a comment. Celeste says, Zachary, I'm so happy for Grant. He's as smooth as butter. He's also very down to earth, sweet, and lovable. I can't wait to see his journey to find love. We're going to talk about Grant. I do have some hot takes. Maybe you guys already know what I'm going to say. Maybe you don't. But Marcus's date went really well. They did the hot air balloon thing, but I saw on Twitter that they never even went up in the air. And I think you can kind of see by the shots of them filming that like they really didn't go that high. They were just on these ropes. So it was a little silly, but it was a really fun, like full packed date. And like they were going on the yellow brick road. It was fun to see Kelsey and Kelsey A and Daisy involved. And then they were going on the yellow brick road, and then they saw Charity. Like I said, there was just like a lot of different activations. At night during the portion of the date, Marcus opened up about his family, and it was really emotional and sweet. And he got a rose, which means he is going to the final four. So slay. Slay, slay, and slay. Okay, so during the group date, we had a radio-themed group date. And they basically were going to kind of like confess their love to Jen and like talk about it. And Jen went into this group date really wanting to figure out Sam M. It's the beginning of the end for Sam M. And he was confessing his love to Jen on the radio podcast group date situation. And it just came across really inauthentic. So like from our perspective watching it, like there's these weird background music and like everything he's saying is just not coming across genuine, because he's like saying a lot of quotes. He's not really like answering her question. He told her that he loved her, But like, if someone tells you they loves you, like, is there a feeling? You know what I'm saying? Like, Jen just felt like with Sam M that he was like saying all these things, but he wasn't like meaning what he was saying, and that maybe he was like kind of lying about how he felt, and like he seems confused. He just seems a little phony and a little inauthentic and just like not really sure he knows what he wants. He did say that he thought Daisy or Maria was going to be the Bachelorette. Guys, that is just like, who says that? Imagine he was on the one-on-one and he saw Daisy. Would he have, tried to make a move on her? Sam M just seems like a little bit of a jerk, you know? You guys are like, a little. Bittersweet Coffee says, Molly and Jason spilled some tea about the radio date on the Almost Famous podcast. Yes, they did. I want to listen to that podcast. And I also want to listen to Grant on the Vile Files. But I haven't had a chance yet since I got back last night. Or yesterday. And I can't wait to tell you guys about my trip. But yeah, so Sam like everything just seemed off. And I feel like there's been so much building up with him for a while. He definitely was the villain of the season. And I don't think he's like, I don't know. I think he just like wasn't in it like he thought he was. He just seems a little confused and like immature in love. And like every time he would try, like she would question him, like he would just use his like charm and try and kiss her. So I definitely like don't really think he was on the show for the right reasons. I don't really think he was in love with Jen like he said he was. And it was just really awkward with him. Like I think the music made it more awkward, but like the whole episode with Sam M was just like, this guy is so off. This connection is so off. And we saw Jen, continuously getting frustrated throughout the episode. And I just felt like, I feel like we knew this about him and we kind of like figured him out like sooner. And a lot of the guys kind of clocked him a little bit earlier too. Like Devin had beef with him. But I think that Jen just wanted to see things through and just kind of like get answers and get to the bottom of things and figure it out. And watching their conversation, especially their breakup, was just so frustrating because it just felt like they were talking in circles and like she was trying to pull things out of him and like he was just like saying quotes and like trying to like say the right thing and not like being real and genuine. And I think he was just like overwhelmed and I think he was at his wit's end. I don't think he was really wanted to go to hometowns anyway. I mean, we saw his bags were packed, which I think they were packed anyway, because like they're supposed to be packed going into a rose ceremony. But I also think that Sam M saw it coming. I think he knew. I think the breakup felt a little staged because I felt like it was like they wanted to make it like a big thing. Like she had to go to his room and like, lay one on him and tell him off. It just felt like long overdue. I almost feel like it should have happened sooner, But I'm glad he's gone. And I'm excited to see what he has to say at the Men Tell All. Now, he did post like a Instagram video, not like an apology, but kind of just like thanking the fans and stuff. He said, as tough as this was to watch, I'm thankful Jen's fearlessness in all aspects of this process showed me that it was possible for me to open myself back up after my past. Her ability to feel and respond to all of my emotions in every situation was something that I've never had. It's something that gives me hope for the future. I'm not perfect. I don't claim to be, but I do know where my heart is and love I have inside of me. I'm looking forward to the day I get to share that with someone. All right. So I don't know. I really don't know, what to think of him. So I feel like the Men Tell All is going to be interesting just to see his perspective. And that was filmed like yesterday, the Men Tell All. So I think we'll get it in 2 weeks. On Monday will obviously be hometowns. And then the week after that will probably be the Men Tell All. So I think in a few days we'll get a trailer, like a teaser. And I think he's going to get roasted. I think Sam M is going to get roasted. Jen's going to read him to filth. I think a lot of the guys are going to read him to filth. And, it's not that I really need him to like take accountability because like, I didn't think he was like that big of a jerk. I just think that he's just like, I just don't think he realizes things. I just don't think he's very self-aware. So it'll just be interesting to see his perspective. That's all. I think that's what it is. So he's gone. Jen also sent home Spencer, which we kind of knew because his connection was far behind. But I thought it was really sweet when Spencer got sent home and he called his mom and his mom was like, what does this mean? Like, you're calling me? Because it could have meant that he was going to hometowns. How often do they get to call their moms? Maybe Spencer was like really asking the producers, like, I can't wait to call my mom. I can't wait to call my mom. So he called his mom and it was really sweet. But it was his time to go. I don't think anyone was shocked that he went. And I don't think anyone was that, sad. It was his time. And then the other person that went home was Grant. Wendy says, reception from the pit for the Fenton's Arkansas 7. Wendy, I don't know what that means. Please explain. Okay, what was I saying again? Yeah, so Grant went home as well. So Grant did not get a lot of airtime. And I thought he was going to get more airtime since I watched the episode a few days late and I saw that he was announced as the Bachelor this week. So it felt like Grant was a frontrunner throughout a lot of the season. Like, I felt like he could have made it to the final 4, like over Jeremy, who maybe got in there at the last minute. And Jonathan, so it felt like it could have been any one of these people filling that 4th spot. So I guess we knew Grant was going home, obviously, because he was announced as the Bachelor, because I saw it after. But also, his connection really, slowed down. They stopped kind of showing him a lot, where it felt like him and Jen had a stronger connection at first. And, I mean, he went home, whatever, but he also just got announced as the next Bachelor. This was kind of shocking. It felt like it came out of left field. I'm not super happy. I'm not mad. I'm kind of huh? It just felt like a premature announcement. It didn't feel like we fell in love with Grant on our TV screens. He seems like a really nice, humble, handsome guy. He seems normal. I feel like he seems really suave. I could definitely see a lot of girls being on his season and wanting to give it a shot. But it just felt like us as viewer, where was the buildup with it? Usually the Bachelor is announced after the final rose. And even if it's not somebody from the final 2 or 3, even if it's not a runner-up, it's still just so fun to have that be the finale. Who is the next Bachelor? So it just felt like a really premature announcement that we weren't ready for. The way they announced it was kind of weird on social media. And now I just feel like everyone's trying to throw Grant in our face, since he's, they're doing all these interviews now, and, he's doing podcasts or whatever and a lot of stuff, which, yeah, they want to promote him, but it just feels like too soon. And it feels like in our face in a way where it's just whoa, who is this guy? We really didn't get to know him much. And I can't say I'm super excited that it's him, because I really wanted someone that I was going to be yes, it's the Bachelor. I really would have loved Tyler Cameron to be the Bachelor, or Greg Grippo, or Peter Krause. They don't always have to pick somebody from the most recent season. I guess they always want someone fresh and new. But I mean, an OG from the past, I think, would really bring back the franchise and really bring back viewers, because everybody was watching Joey's season, because everyone was really excited about Joey. But I think if they brought back someone a little older, that would be so exciting. Not that any of those 3 guys would probably want to do it. I feel like Tyler Cameron's been offered so many times. I don't know if Peter Krause, I really still want it to be him. And Greg Grippo, I don't think he would do it. But if he did, maybe next year, I don't know, that'd be sick. So Grant is our next Bachelor. And, I'm sure I'll be excited as it gets closer, but it just feels like a little too soon. We still have the Golden Bachelorette. And, Grant, really? Grant? I don't know. What do you guys think about Grant? They also did not give him his moment when they announced the Jones guys right after. Forgot who the new Bachelor. Well, I think that they'll give Grant an interview on maybe the Men Tell All, since that was just filmed yesterday and they announced Grant earlier this week. Maybe they'll bring out Grant for an interview at the Men Tell All, and then they'll probably bring him back again for after the final rose for another short interview. That's what I think will happen. So what do you guys think about it being Grant? Obviously we have the final 4, so they weren't going to make Marcus the Bachelor. They weren't going to make Jonathan the Bachelor. And I guess they weren't going to make Jeremy the Bachelor. And Devin obviously is going to be Jen's final pick. Right? We've been saying that. I've been saying that for a couple weeks. I do think she's going to pick Devin. 100% she's going to pick Devin. So hometowns will be fun next week, and I can't wait to watch, but I am more excited for the Men Tell All. Also, shout out. So Natasha Parker from Bachelor Nation, she was on Bachelor in Paradise. She was on Pilot Pete's season. She came over about a week and a half ago, and we did a 2-part series on my YouTube channel, asking her questions, playing games, doing a little makeup. If you guys have not seen it on my channel, feel free to go check it out and let me know what you guys think. It was really fun to have her over, and I can't wait to have more people over to film videos soon as well. Other Bachelor Nation news is that there is a blind on Dumois' page that Joey is going to be on Dancing with the Stars. They're probably going to announce the Dancing with the Stars cast in the next few weeks. They just announced that all the judges are back. Carrie Ann, Bruno, and Derek, as well as Julian Huff and Alfonso hosting the show. I really want to see Riley back since she was so much fun to watch last year. So Joey might be the person from Bachelor Nation representing on Dance with the Stars, which I think would be super exciting. I would love that. And I can't wait to get the cast announcement, which I think we'll hear, like I said, pretty soon. So that'll be fun. And then the Golden Bachelorette cast was also announced. So I'm going to do another video like reacting to all the guys and like reading their bios and stuff. But the big news of the Golden Bachelorette is that Mark, which we already knew, but now it's like official, like we have a picture. Kelsey A's dad is going to be a contestant on the show. Based on what I've seen on Twitter, it seems like he might not be like the winner, but he might have gone pretty far. I don't know if he made it to hometowns, but he definitely got at least one date. And I think that a lot of people obviously love Mark and are already rooting for him to be the next Golden Bachelor, which I guess we will see if that show gets another season, which it probably will next year, right? So I think it'll be Mark too. I think it's a little premature to say, but we manifested Mark going on the Golden Bachelorette as a contestant. So if Joan doesn't pick him, I could definitely see him being the Golden Bachelor. And I hope Joan found love. There seemed to be a few men who seemed pretty good looking, a lot of people in her age range. It was a very iconic photo of all of the guys. And I did hear that there is one guy who might cause a little drama. So there might be a little drama between the older gentlemen and a little competition. It will be an 1.5-hour show. So it'll be a little bit shorter than The Bachelor. And we'll see if it's good. I did see some comments saying that, you know, these guys are hotter than Jen's guys. This is like the cast for daddy issues. Do you guys think Joan will get engaged? I could see her getting engaged. Do we think Jen's going to get engaged? People still think that Jen proposes or that Jen might be single, but I think she's going to be with Devin. And, you know, I don't know what will happen after that. Okay, well, I think that's like all the big Bachelor Nation news. So let me tell you guys a little bit about my trip to Croatia. Since I just got back yesterday, it was the time of my life. Feel free to check out all the pictures on my Instagram. I also filmed a lot of content, so I'm going to put together a vlog on my YouTube in the next few days. It was so much fun. It took forever to get there. So I flew to Germany first for my layover, and then from Germany to Dubrovnik, Croatia. Dubrovnik is like the south side of Asia, of Europe, of Croatia. The water was so beautiful. Me and 5 of my friends stayed in an Airbnb, and it was really cool because we had an Airbnb host, Peter, who was able to like pick us up from the airport. So it really just made things a lot easier, and like him being like below us, because we were in this building and he was in like the apartment like below, and there's like 5 apartments in this building with like his family. And there was also like a store in our building, which was really convenient because we just literally walk downstairs and get anything we needed. We had a gorgeous view of the water, and we just had so much fun. We went on boat rides. We went to private islands. We went out in Old Town, which is kind of like where all the bars are. It's like the most European vibe. It's like a walking town. We took the cable car all the way up to the top of Croatia and just like saw the whole city. It really reminded me of like Neverland, if you guys like Peter Pan, because it was just like such pretty water and like all these caves and all these like greenery and the flag and these ships. And it was just like magical and majestic. The weather was so nice. It was so hot. I was in the water every day. And Croatia was just so much fun. Like, it was just such a good time. I'm so glad I went, and I'm so happy to be back. And it was just cool. So we hopped around these like islands. We did one boat tour for like 4 hours where we rented a boat and we had a driver. And then the next day we did an 8-hour, or it might have been like I think it was 8-hour boat ride. And we stopped at like 3 private islands throughout the day, and just like they would take us there for like an hour. Then we go back on the boat, and they served us food. And the guy was like feeding these birds chicken, and we saw all these fish, and we went to all these clubs. There is a lot of people in Dubrovnik. It's a very touristy town in the city. there is like 30,000 people who visit apparently like every day in the summer, but then in the winter, there's like no one there. I know this because we also did a walking tour the next day where some guy just like told us a bunch of the history about Dubrovnik and about Croatia and just like all the fun facts. What else did we do? A lot of just like walking around and swimming in boats and going out and really cute outfits. I was really happy with how all my outfits turned out because they looked really cute. I'm like, let me look at my phone and see what else I can tell you. And then we can talk a little bit about Vienna, Austria. Oh my gosh. It's such a whirlwind, like literally getting back and just like, it's like I never left, but it was just like such an experience. Like I went so far, like literally it was so far to get there. Okay, I'm looking at my photos and I'm like, all we really did was like swim and go on boat rides and like drink and like dress cute and eat food. That's really what we did all weekend. So put Croatia on your list. Put Dubrovnik, Croatia on your list. Everybody needs to go there. It's just so gorgeous. After Croatia, I left and went to Vienna, Austria. So I originally was going to go for like one night because that's where my connecting flight was. But then my flight got canceled and it became the next night. So I spent 2 nights in Vienna, Austria, and I went by myself and I got a hotel. I stayed at the Hilton Honors. And Vienna was so different than Croatia because it was not any like water. It's just, you know, because Croatia was really like all about the water for me, where like Vienna was just very much like in the city vibe. And I get there and I'm like trying to do my work in my hotel and I go out the first night, not to like any bars, but really just to like explore like the city center, which has like a lot of really cool architecture. And this crazy thing happened. I ended up eating McDonald's the first night for dinner because everything closed at like 11 and I got to Vienna at like 9 p.m. that day. So there was like no restaurants open at past 11. So I had McDonald's for dinner. And the weirdest thing happened, and I told this story on my TikTok, but I was calling my Uber back home, back to the hotel to go to sleep. And this girl comes up to me with like these creepy eyes. And I'm like, what is she doing? I felt so uncomfortable immediately. And she's like, sex? And I'm like, huh, I'm gay. She's like, I don't care. Like, and I think she's trying to like seduce me with her eyes. And I'm like, ew. Like, I was so taken aback. I was like, ew, no, gross. And she's like, do you have a cigarette? And then I'm like, ew. She eventually went away. But it was just an interesting experience. And I wonder if it was like because I was alone. You know, traveling in Europe alone is very different than traveling with a group of friends. I also felt like Croatia was so safe. And Vienna, Austria was like really safe too. But there was just like a little bit of like, okay, what is like the people were just a little bit like, I don't want to use like the word creepy, but it was just like a different world. I did end up making a friend off of Grindr and he took me to like a rave by the river, a techno rave. So that was kind of cool. I had a really good like day when I was there for like the full day because that happened the first night and it was like a little weird, but I made it home safe and I was fine. When I woke up, I just like walked so much and I got breakfast, coffee, and I was just walking all over the city and it was just so much fun to see it during the day. And then I did a bird, I did a scooter ride and just like really explored. And I ended up on a rooftop and had drinks. And then after that went to like the techno rave for like a few hours and then went to a couple more bars with this new friend and then went back to the hotel and woke up because I had an early flight the next day and a layover in Germany in Munich. So it was like literally an hour to get to Munich, Germany. And I had like a 5-hour layover. And I was like, what am I going to do during this layover? I like need to go to the city. I should go to Munich, which was like probably about 45 minutes maybe to get there on the train. And I already knew how to work the train because it's like the same as in Vienna. So I was like, let me think about if I want to go to Munich or not. Cause I wanted to like, I could have stayed in the airport, but I was like, it's such a long layover. Like, let me tire myself out before I take the flight from Munich to LA. So it was like, I have to like leave the airport and like see what's going on. And the airport was so big. And by the time I got to the train, it was kind of like already an hour since I got breakfast first at the airport. So it was like losing time that I could have like gotten to Munich. So then I get on the train and the train is free, which I think is interesting and cool. Cause like, I don't think any trains are free in America, but the trains are free in Austria and in Germany. And they're really easy to use. And they like go everywhere all over the city all day long. So I I got onto the train, and I was on the train for like maybe 30 minutes, and it was time to transfer over to the next train to get me into the city. And that's when I decided that I was like, I don't think I want to go and see the city. I have my bags with me. Like, what if I just like get stuck there somehow? What if like it's too far? Like, I have to get back to the airport. Like, time is ticking. I really only had a few hours. I felt like I could have went into the city for a couple, like maybe like 40 minutes, but it just wasn't meant to be. I also like, why would I want to see the city just for 5 minutes? You know, like I needed to like go back and like really experience it. So I went back on the train and literally went back to the airport. So I'm just basically spending my time during my layover on the train, just looking at the German countryside. I got out a couple times and like walked around these really small towns. There was nothing there at all. It wasn't even like interesting, like literally at all, but the countryside was cute. So then I get back to the airport and I go get more food, and then I have to go through security, and there was so many people, literally so many people. And I'm like, fuck, if I shouldn't have left the airport, like now I might miss my flight. I have like 40 minutes to get to my gate, and there's like this long line of security. So I noticed that like a couple other people also were like gonna miss their flight, and they started freaking out. So the security guard basically told them to start cutting people and tell them that like you're gonna miss your flight. So I started cutting people, and I was like, I'm gonna miss my flight. Like, you know, and I was. So I got to the front. I started running to my gate. My gate was so far, like maybe because it's international, but it was just like up an escalator, up an elevator, on a ramp, on this thing. And I'm like running and sprinting. I'm like, holy shit. I'm like on the Amazing Race. I ended up making it to my gate. And I'm like, I have to like show my passport because there's so many customs at every airport. Like traveling internationally just like adds more time and anxiety, and just like there's more going on. And then my flight was delayed like 30 minutes, which was not a big deal. And it took forever to load people on the plane because it was a double decker plane. And then the plane from Germany to LA was 11 hours and 15 minutes. And it was, I swear, the longest plane of my entire life. Getting there was like fun and exciting. And I didn't think the plane was that long. I think it was 11 hours too when I flew from LA originally to Germany. I had like a 3-hour layover in Germany and then was in Croatia, which was like an hour to Germany. No, there's no direct flights to Croatia. So you have to like go to Germany or like Austria or like somewhere else kind of close by. So it was just such a long plane. And I didn't watch any movies because I just like was so like angry that I was like stuck on this plane for so long, and that maybe I was like leaving the trip. So I was kind of like processing that, and I was just like playing games and walking around. And it was just like a really long flight where I was just like really thinking a lot and reflecting, and I was journaling my thoughts, which is something I really never do, and just like processing like my whole experience and my whole trip. And like there was so many amazing moments and so much fun, and then there was like a couple like uncomfortable moments and a couple moments where I had to like think fast and think on my feet and like figure out my travel plans and like, you know, understand someone in a different language, and, you know, get to my flight on time, and like, you know, be aware of my surroundings. Like it was just like such a crazy experience going to Europe and like having so much stimulation and like moving around each day. And I think I just like am decompressing and processing it. You know, like it's a big thing when you leave the country for that long. Um, but I made it home safely. I got back to LA around like 3:15. I had to go through some customs. I was home by 5, ordered sushi. I'm already catching up on all my shows. So I wanted to watch The Real Houses of New Jersey, catch up on The Real Housewives of Orange County and The Bachelorette. And now I caught up on all those already. I also went out last night and saw my friends. So how did I make it out? Do I have jet lag? I don't, because once I got back and it was like 3:15, and I did sleep pretty much like a lot of the plane ride. I went out to meet my friends at like 8:30, and then I was home by like midnight. So I felt like I stayed up and then woke up, and now I'm like really quickly getting back into it because I know what, you know, I know what I need to do. I'm a professional traveler. I'm a professional, you know, I know my routine. So I feel like I'm already like I'm back. It's just like such a whirlwind, you know? So I need to unpack my suitcase. I really want to organize my closet. I feel like now I'm back to stay for a bit. I have a lot of exciting projects coming up in the fall and a lot of campaigns I'm working on. I feel like summer is coming to an end, so I want to spend the last few weeks in Southern California. I'm definitely going to take a trip to San Diego, and I'm really just excited to keep making content and make content. I want to like spruce up my apartment now that like my summer travel's over. So I need a new TV. I need to really organize my closets. They're so messy. And I really want to just like focus on work and grow my channel and my pages. I felt like for summer, I was trying to like take a little time off, but now I'm like back. So obviously I got a lot to do. And that is our recap and our review. I am doing some interviews next week. I'll be interviewing Claim to Fame contestants. There was a couple of people eliminated, so I will be checking those out, watching the episodes, and doing a couple interviews. There's also another show on the USA Network called The Anonymous. I watched the first 3 episodes so far, and I'm interviewing a couple people next week. I think it comes out on Monday. So watch The Anonymous when it comes out on Monday. It's actually a really good show. And also Love Island Reunion is supposed to come out on Monday as well. And then The Bachelorette Hometowns comes out on Monday. So a lot of TV is coming out on Monday, but I will definitely be tuning into the Love Island Reunion because I feel like that really got a lot of people's attention over the last few days. It's been the talk of the town. It should be very interesting to see the first reunion for Love Island. And I know a lot of people are also talking about like Blake Lively and it ends with us drama. I have no idea. I have not been able to pay attention and watch that, see what's going on with that stuff. But that's really what has been the talk of the town. That's what's on TV. That was my trip. It was so much fun. That was my recap of The Bachelorette. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up. Do not forget to hit subscribe before you guys head out of here. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.